And away we go. It is the BCJ Podcast, brought to you by the Holy Grail right here on BearcatJournal.com. Anytime you're down at the banks or downtown in the area, stop by, see our good friends at the Holy Grail. I was there today for lunch, and it was delicious. I had some chicken wings, and they were outstanding. Did the trick. The wings, the pizza, the Reuben wontons, all kinds of good stuff on the menu. So head down to the Holy Grail. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for the big game. And, of course, ice cold Cincy Light. And every Cincy Light purchased at the Holy Grail, 50 cents is donated back to the University of Cincinnati to support the athletes that you love to watch. So support those that support us. More importantly, support those that support the athletes at UC. Go to Holy Grail. That's what I'm getting at. All right, let's get this show on the road. It is our second pregame show of the year.
Did we win? Did we win the game we did the other one for?
It was a road game, so no.
I don't remember what it was, but
It was a road game, so no.
Yeah.
Was it Arizona? It was Arizona or Arizona State? Arizona. Arizona State was on the weekend.
Yeah.
So no, they did not.
It's our fault.
It's definitely not our fault.
I do have a question.
Okay.
Do we need to start this show with roughly 13 minutes of food talk, or is that just a BBP thing?
That's just a BBP thing.
Okay,
it was a Super Bowl party thing. No, we can get, I could talk about I made some stir fry with some beef tenderloin tips tonight. That was really good. Not as good as the wings from the Holy Grail.
No.
Look what I got at the Holy Grail today.
Oh, nice.
Going to be able to get these Sunday when the Bearcats take on Utah at Fifth Third Arena. We'll talk about this a little bit more later. But as we like to do with these pregame shows, we're going to do basketball as we lead into the game. We're going to start off talking a little football so that there's some staying power, because a pregame show is only good until the game, and then the game happens, and then you don't have any real need for the pregame show. So The way we do this when we do the pregame show, we'll talk football for a little while. Then we'll get into basketball. We've got a Cincy Light sponsored segment that we're going to do. I'm interested. You guys did some homework today. So I'm interested in that. It's going to be a great segment. Then we'll get ready for the Kansas State game. We'll talk a little bit about the coaching carousel, potential coaching carousel, some things that I'm hearing, some of that stuff in the back end of the show. But you raising your eyebrows, Keegan? You don't like that kind of talk on the podcast?
What date is it? February 11th.
Yep, we got about a month before the carousel starts. Look, people are talking.
It's the reality of the business. I mean,
there's a lot of time left between now and then. A lot is going to change from now until the 30 days from now when jobs start opening and people, really get into this. But I can tell you this. There's one thing that people in the basketball world like to talk about, and that's the coaching carousel. What's coming next? So, I've been working the phones. I've been talking to some people, getting some information on what's out there. So we'll get into that a little bit later in the show as well. But we'll start off with yesterday. Keegan and I had a very private, very intimate gathering with Scott Satterfield, Nate Woody, and Evan Tengestal. In case you watched that podcast or the interview, all three of them, and you were wondering why it sounded like it was very familiar, that's because Keegan and I asked every question over roughly 55 minutes of press conferences. So
yeah,
we put in a lot of work yesterday, Keith.
We also there weren't any that were like, yeah, this is nothing. We just want to get this over with. I think Sat go like 19 minutes. Woody went 18 minutes. So, and we would have went longer if they didn't freaking cut us off.
Yeah, the thing about it was, like, we just both were like, oh, we get our own podcast with the head coach and the new defensive coordinator. We're just going to keep asking questions. Y'all want to talk ball? We'll talk ball. There's stuff people want to know. And I think Keegan gets MVP, Dave.
Okay. Okay.
He asked a great question about the names of the positions.
Yeah.
Kind of explaining the defense, helping people, in layman's terms, understand it. And I thought Nate Woody did a really good job kind of breaking it down for somebody that's not as,
Someone may have sent him a text.
Okay. So I got Dave. You're an aficionado of the East Coast 3-4, and I appreciate it. And you definitely played a role in it. But when Sat mentioned cat,
yeah,
I was like, that's weird. I thought it was going to be like Apache or
he's named
dog.
These positions. Like the video that I saw him discussing Apache was from like 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So he's named all these outside, what in a traditional 3-4 is the 2 outside linebacker positions. He's kind of named them different things at different stages of his career.
So
ironically, tied to the school that he's at, he will change the name of a position or two.
So I literally just wanted to get the names of both of the like unique linebacker positions. That's all I was going for with that question. But then he did me a huge favor and broke down the entire defense and what it was going to look like, who does what, why they need to do that, what makes the defense great at each position. So it was really good.
Keegan, I'll start with Dave, and then we'll go to Keegan. Overall impression of I know you've watched a lot of videos from Coach Woody, but overall impression of his first press conference here at Cincinnati.
He just comes off as a pretty old school defensive guy.
Pretty old school, like the oldest of schools defensive guy.
He has, when he's talking about what he envisions, I feel like at each position, he has a very clear frame of reference for what that guy ideally does. I think I just think it's interesting that he's run this for so long with vastly different types of players, and it's been various levels of successful at all of his stops. I mean, that's going to be dependent on, especially at a Wofford or an Army, like you have control over who you're bringing in, but not everybody that is designed to go to Army and play football. Not everybody wants to play football at a level that Wofford was, especially 20-something years ago. So, I mean, it's not like he's coached at 3 SEC schools and has the pick of the litter for every type of guy he wants for a defense. So he's probably gone into seasons where he'd like to have this type of guy at this position, but he doesn't really have that guy on his roster. So he talked about, or Sat talked about, I've had corners, safeties, and outside linebackers at that whatever cat, Apache, whatever position you want to name it. So it makes it a little bit challenging for us, at least at this stage, to try to slot guys in and go, oh yeah, this guy makes sense here, this guy makes sense there, just because he's kind of had a variety of different players in those roles. And so he might come to UC and watch Antoine Peak Jr. do it, and then watch a linebacker do it, and then watch a corner do it, and be like, I can use all 3 of these guys. It's going to be dependent on down and distance, situation, stuff like that. So, he seems, he knows what he wants. He clearly knows what works for him in this defense, and it'll just be that's why the spring, I think, will be just very interesting to see who he's trying at what spots.
Yeah, I think one of the good things that I heard from him was kind of mentioning like, hey, maybe we as we're watching spring ball, we think this is a guy we can use on third down to do this, or this is a guy we can use on early downs to fill this role. It sounds like he's a lot less rigid than maybe some coaches that you hear talk about this stuff where, hey, these are our starters and these are the twos, and we kind of run our rotation like this. I think he sounds a little bit more open to, okay, like playing a little bit more situational, Dave, than we've seen in the past.
For sure. And that's what I'm kind of a little bit of what I'm alluding to. Like 1st and 10 from the opponent 25, maybe a linebacker is playing that spot. 3rd and 14 from your 30, you're trying to get off the field, you're trying to limit you don't want to give up any extra yards. Maybe a safety or a corner is in that spot because the offense is in a more of a 4 wide or 5 wide alignment. So I don't think it'll be just this is the guy that does it, and I don't think it'll necessarily be the backup to the guy in that position is also necessarily coming from the same position group. I think you could see it be based on down and distance and then field position, things like that. So linebacker isn't on first down, and now that the situation changes, now we have more of a defensive back there on 2nd or 3rd down.
Big news for tonight, guys. No Mustafa Cham. Listed as out on the game day update report.
What happened between Sunday and today?
I mean, I'm guessing his ankle is bothering him again. I don't know, Dave. I'm not in Manhattan. Not in the Little Apple.
Keegan, you're Octagon of Doom.
Your first impressions? What is happening?
Hold on.
That is so loud.
We invite the part-timer and
unbelievable.
So, my first impressions.
What is like? Is there like a bag of candy in there?
Carissa's making a snack. My first impressions are kind of what you guys said, very old school defensive coordinator. Seemed very confident, seemed very comfortable. I think the biggest deviation from like Vite was like Woody's going to come in and know exactly what he wants to do, how he wants to do it, because he has a long track record of actually doing it at the defensive coordinator position. Not to say that Vite was unprepared or anything, but maybe there's just a little figuring out process that might have hindered things. There's also the culture piece of he knows how Satterfield runs his teams. There's not going to be really any confusion there. So that part is interesting to me. And then I think what he said about the nose tackle is also interesting, and that much of the defense is going to be predicated on having a really, really good nose tackle, because you're going to be sending 4, but it is still 3 down linemen. Like you're going to have that guy in the middle of the defense, in the middle of the defensive line that has to draw double teams, basically. Like you have to be Dante Corleone. And then like that makes me think, okay, how good do they think Josh Huff is? Because if I'm going to think of a guy in the roster right now that's going to play that nose tackle, it's him, Lendrick Barber. Is he's still on the team, right?
No.
He transferred? Okay.
The EKU.
So it's Josh Huff, and I can't really think of any other interior defensive lineman off the top of my head, at the very least.
Elijah Gunn.
Yeah.
The transfer. What was his name?
Chuck.
Yeah.
UTSA. I think he's more of a.
Oh yeah.
He might be more of a strong side.
A Tuwu, I think it is what
strong
it was.
Strong side end.
So
he's more in like the shit. Now I'm gonna draw a blank. Hunt. He's more in the Jalen Hunt.
yeah.
But to be fair, Jalen Hunt would have been the nose tackle if Dante Corleone wasn't on the roster. So
yeah.
The other thing for Kansas State, by the way, Abdi Bashir is listed as out. He is their second leading scorer at 13 points a game and is their top shooter. 44% from three on 8.5 attempts a game.
He's been out for like a month.
I know, but they don't. Well, he's been out for 4 games.
It's the first time in my life I've heard that name. I'm disappointed.
Second best scorer on Kansas State.
Disappointed I'm not going to get to see him play.
I mean, look, Dave. How are you not up to date on the 10-13 and 1-9 in the Big 12 Kansas State Wildcats?
Well, I'm not that up to date on the whatever the Cincinnati Bearcats record is. You think I'm going to be up to date on the Kansas State Wildcats?
You're familiar with PJ Haggerty?
Yes, I am. I'm a big fan.
Sorry, go ahead.
So, Josh Huff could be a big name after hearing what he thinks about nose tackles. And then
he better be.
Yeah, big literally. And
I still kind of think they went a little light on the D line in the portal, so he better be.
Yeah. He's a big boy. It's a big human.
Yes.
Former running back. The cat is also, that's kind of thrown me for a loop because, I mean, we talked about it, Chad said they played linebackers there, corners there, kind of safeties there, but you're kind of showing your hand on what you're planning on doing. But then I try to think of, okay, well, if it's 2x2, do you have the cat over the slot? Do you bring down a safety? I don't know.
You know what you do, Keegan? You know what you do?
What? What do you do?
You wait until they sub, and then you very slowly change accordingly. So if they run a slot receiver out there, then maybe you run a corner out there. If they put a tight end, you put a linebacker. Like you play the game, if you will.
Yeah.
And then you try to, in the process, burn as much of the play clock as you can.
Mm-hmm.
Dave, who do you think fits at the dog right now?
Thomas Johnson.
Is that okay? Because I kind of pictured him as kind of one of the DNs. Because I don't know if he can.
Keegan, it is a DN.
He says he's going to rush 70% of the time. If you're not bringing in a guy with double sacks to rush 70% of the time, then what did you bring him in for?
So who are the two DNs?
There's only one DN, right? You if you listen, Keegan, there's a nose tackle, a defensive end, and a defensive tackle on the line of scrimmage. That's how
I listen.
If you listen, you got to listen.
If I listen.
Remember, you ask questions, you look them in the eyes, you listen to
Don't talk to me about asking questions and looking in the eyes. I will get off this podcast right now.
But no, I mean, essentially, that's any 3-man front. You're not playing two defensive ends. You're playing a nose tackle, a 3 technique, defensive tackle type, and then on the weak side, you've got your rush end, and then this defense is going to have that dog position or the strong side. It's the weak side.
Yeah,
right?
the dog is essentially an outside linebacker in the traditional 3-4. He comes up on the line to make it a 4-man front. So you do still have your 2 big ends that you would have in the 3-4 and your nose tackle. Then the dog can kind of, whether you want to say he's on the line as a 4th man or not, but he's your rush end. He's your rush linebacker in a 3-4 defense.
Yeah.
So
probably Thomas Johnson.
I just think about him dropping in coverage 30% of snaps.
I think
Ooh.
no. I think
you sub him out.
Yeah. Yeah. If it's a situation like that, maybe it's Sims. You know, I don't know. I mean, that's a spot I'll be interested to see. Like we just talked about. You know, what does the depth sequence look like there? You know,
would Gode have been dog?
Because really, there's not. I mean, they haven't got to the quarterback very much at all the last 2 years, so there is not some automatic name that pops into your mind of like, oh yeah, I could totally see that guy being the guy that rushes the quarterback 70% of the time, because nobody is produced to that level to make you say that that's something that they can do. So until we see it, I think it's kind of futile to try to guess, because we're literally just guessing.
Yeah.
1,000% just guessing.
Well,
Linebacker's fascinating all around.
Yeah.
Like, who's the Mike? Who's the Will? Who's going to be like, is that cat? How versatile is that cat position? What type of player do they want there?
I won't butcher his last name, but like Philip whatever.
Surowski
screams the linebacker that plays the cat. If you have a linebacker to do that, you know, he
yeah.
I think Peak just screams the cat position.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
He would be like your DB. Him and I think Ty Goodwill also.
Ooh.
Because he's bigger. He could play it against the run.
Yeah.
Him and Peak both are kind of. He could play it against the run and the pass. I feel better about Peak playing it against the run and going forward. I think Goodwill can play it pretty much all the time based on what I've seen from it. And then I think if you want a bigger grouping in there, then maybe you bring in a linebacker that has some speed that could bump out and cover a tight end. I've heard a lot about like covering the slot, which tells me that, I mean, I don't know how many linebackers you have out covering Cyrus Allen. So if that's what if you're talking about covering the slot, then that's more of a true DB, even maybe another corner. You know, do you have a bigger corner that you flip between that you feel comfortable playing in there? So, but yeah, I think from a DB standpoint, the two names to me are Peak and Goodwill.
I don't really picture that cat just running man coverage often. Like, I feel like it's going to be some curls.
It runs a lot of – the defense is very zone heavy.
Yeah. So
really
it's not like –
there's really no man.
It's not like if Peak or whoever is on the slot that it's just an automatic mismatch. So there's definitely ways that they can manipulate it.
You know, it's also an interesting name for that position. MJ Cannon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
6'3", 210. Has played corner, has played safety.
Yeah, I thought he was coming in as a corner. They said safety. So
they gave us a roster yesterday, Dave.
Yeah.
They had corners, they had safeties, and then they had DBs.
Yeah,
he was listed as a DB. So I think that's gonna be let's get to spring.
I wish they'd have done
and see where.
I wish they had done oars. I'm always big on how many oars can a coach put on a depth chart.
Well, it wasn't a depth chart; it was just a roster.
Right. But I mean, yeah, give me oars. This guy can play this or that.
But I think that would be a really interesting name. Yeah. He's got the size. I mean, I don't know what he's like playing the run.
No, he's a good.
I would guess
he's a good tackler because there was some stat like well into October, November, he was like the only DB that had X number of tackles, an interception, a forced fumble, a pass, whatever, just accumulating all the stat lines. And he was like the only DB in the country that hit like certain benchmarks.
Yeah. So I think he's a fascinating name in that spot. There's a lot of options. I like.
I feel like there's options on the back end. I'm still trying to sort everything out on the line. I feel like the linebackers and secondary there are options to play with in the spring. Up front, I'm more interested in seeing who they feel can actually play.
I mean, where does Jonathan Thompson fit? Where does Sims fit? Where does Coleman fit? Where does Whedon fit? Like, you have to think all four of those guys are going to be on the field. And I like Miles Harrison. I like Terrell Holcomb, the two redshirt freshmen. So, what is the role for those guys as well?
Right. Simeon and Whedon to me are your bread and butter inside guys. I think there's some versatility with Thompson.
Who's going to be the Mike is my question.
Yeah.
Like, who steps up in that role? Is it going to be Thompson?
I would guess to start.
And then you add in the new guys.
Yeah. There's a lot of linebackers.
There is a lot of linebackers. That is for sure.
What else caught your attention, Keegan?
Sat not committing to, but saying that Zion Johnson will be the starting running back like first spring practice, which is kind of just a declaration of saying, hey, he's the leader in the clubhouse right now, despite bringing in, I'll say, one surefire starter caliber in Zylan Perry, but three guys who can definitely make a push to be an RB1.
I think
Cole Tabb's the best running back on the roster.
I'll go Zylan Perry.
I also don't. I'm a big time wait and see on Payne.
Yeah, I agree. Big third down back in 24.
Yeah, I like all the guys. I think
24.
I like Zion a lot. I mean, we saw him more than anything we watched from the other guys is just highlights based.
I have a concern. Every time he played, he got hurt. Like, every game he played, he left with an injury.
Yeah.
That, to me, for a guy that only played in 4 games, like, that's a little bit of a red flag at a position that you take a lot of contact.
It's also like one of the running backs that they deploy every game has explosiveness. And I feel like Zion is the only one out of those 4 that has like actual true breakaway explosiveness. So he's going to have a spot. It's just whether he's the RB1 or if he's kind of getting leftover snaps.
Yeah.
Not leftover, but split.
I mean, Sat has a proclivity for the power back being the number 1 guy. Right?
Yeah.
Who's the power back?
Zion Perry.
Zylan Perry. He's 5'11", 210. I think it's Cole Tabb.
He's 5'8", 200.
205.
Cole Tabb is a very interesting body type running style.
He's a little bowling ball.
His size tells you he's like in like the third down back archetype. But
his height tells you that, but he's 205.
Yeah, like that's still, I mean, that's not that big.
At 5'8", 205 is a lot of weight to be carrying around.
Yeah, but you're not a power back at 5'8".
What was Corey Kiner?
220?
How tall was he?
Right, but 220.
The Arizona Cardinals list him at 5'9", 210. I don't think he was 220.
That's fine.
I'm just saying.
I know. But yeah, I mean, it's again another position that I think is you've got a little bit of a little bit of everything, I guess. I mean, I like all the guys individually, so I mean, they've done a good job identifying running backs in the portal. It's obviously a running back friendly system.
Yeah.
You should have another, very good offensive line. So, my only question is, not my only question, I guess I don't even know if it is a question right now, because they don't really even, like, Sat has not split carries, but very rare. I mean, maybe that had to do with Sorsby and the improvements at wide receiver. Like, did any running back carry the ball more than 20 times in a game last year?
I don't think so. I mean, the only in the 3 years, Kiner's been the only like number one back.
Yeah. So like, I guess I'm not going to say it doesn't matter, but if you're going to have these 3, maybe 4, I mean, obviously 4 guys are not going to get carries. I've always found that to be pointless to give even your 3rd or 4th back. Like why we get like, what was it? It was the opening game, the Nebraska game, when they gave carries to Chance Williams or whatever it was. I'm like, just give the give the 2 carries to your starters.
Right.
Like,
well, Chance got it.
And Manny Covey.
Yeah.
Chance and Manny Covey. They ran 4 backs in 4 different series.
That stuff drives me crazy. Like, we need to give our 4-string back 2 carries. We can't give our starting back 2 more. He can't handle 2 more carries.
Got to keep him fresh. He's, first game
long
season,
season, Dave.
First game of the year. You'll never be more fresh than week 1.
Tawi Walker had 19 against Baylor, but didn't reach 20.
There you go. So
Evan Pryor definitely never got to 20.
No.
Nope.
Did he ever get to 10?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he maybe had 11 or 12 in a game.
13 against Baylor, so they ran the ball a minimum 32 times with their running backs.
Boy, how bad was Baylor?
Yeah.
Wide receivers, fascinating. I don't think they have any
really
clue really what they have yet.
No.
Which, I mean, I guess it is nice, the indoor facility for this time of year when everybody just arrives on campus, including your quarterback, that you can get out there and those guys can actually have some time slinging it around. But, I mean, I won't be surprised if we're still trying to figure out what that looks like at wide receiver, Keegan, midway through the spring.
Yeah, I don't think we'll have a definitive answer or any idea until kind of the fall even. Because I feel like Flynn, is it Sheely? Flynn Shiel? Shiel? I feel like he's a guy that could just have a really quiet spring but then explode.
I don't think he's going to play. He's not going to play in the spring.
Yeah, is he still recovering from that injury?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, because that was week 1. So, yeah, he's going to need a while. So, he's still recovering from an injury. I don't know what they're going to do with Isaiah Johnson. I don't know how well he fits the Cyrus Allen role, if I'm being completely honest. Like, as a pure route runner.
There's not a Cyrus Allen on the roster. So,
yeah.
You okay, Dave?
I'm fine. Something I just saw on the Twitter. BYU football might not be fine.
Ooh.
I mean, they'll be fine, but it's not a great tweet I just read. But anyway, wide receivers. I'm looking for a big year from my guy Gio. Very interested to see where he slots into all this. I was very big on him in the fall, and he didn't really play because a lot of the other guys did what they were brought in to do. But now he's got just as good a shot as anybody else to grab one of those spots on the outside.
I mean, I think JV Gibson's going to be the number one guy.
I mean, it would make the most sense based on what we've seen and what we know of these guys. I mean, I think him, Fenner. If I'm guessing February 11th, I'm guessing Gibson, Fenner, Isaiah Johnson in the slot. Maybe Gio is instead of Fenner, but that's what I would guess if we're talking three guys.
Yeah, that number 2 spot's going to be interesting because you'd have to think Fenner, Gio, Malachi
Central
Henry,
Arkansas guy.
Malachi Henry. Those 3 guys, I think, all could be like very real possibilities. And then Elijah Jones played in that spot not a ton, but a lot, got a lot of snaps in that number 2 wide receiver spot last year. So I have a hard time just crossing him off the list when he's the one guy returning in that room that actually saw, he saw more snaps than Isaiah Johnson, it felt like.
Yeah. I would agree.
I love watching Dave's face during these things as he reads social media.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I just read it too. It's not good.
Did you see the follow-up tweet about the proposal?
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, but anyway.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, wide receiver again. I mean, you bring in 5 new guys again 2 years in a row. It's it's kind of a see what you got in the spring.
Fascinating room because we just don't know much about it. Again. The other is offensive line. All indications going into the offseason led me to believe Tarantayo is going to play center. I think Tengastal is an option there, but man, you've got an All-American at left guard.
You're going to move a future first or second round pick from guard to center?
I'm not.
No,
I'm not. Especially because you've got Cotton next to him, and you've got a chance to have one of the better left sides, if not in the conference, in the country.
Yeah, I'm not moving him.
So you don't even move him to right guard?
No. I think you're crazy for suggesting that.
Mm-mm.
I'm not crazy for suggesting to balance out the offensive line like they did going into this season because they thought Tarantayo was the better guard, so they put him at right guard.
As a replacement for Luke Kandra. He wasn't an All-American left guard the year before. Like, it's a different situation. You were replacing Kandra at right guard, and you replaced him with Tarantayo. You went into the portal. We have to replace Luke Kandra. We get Tarantayo to replace Luke Kandra.
Wait, I mean, here's the question. Evan and Lozo have both played left guard.
Yeah.
Do you move your, I'm going to say, best offensive lineman to a different position?
Best player on offense. He is an
to a different position to then make a path for the last year's backup to come in and play the position he plays, or do you keep the guy at the position he's been at and move the backup to start at right guard?
I mean, at what point, like, what is your expectation if you move Tangenstall to right guard?
The
He just
expectation
sucks?
is that he's still really good. But if I
Yeah.
I know I have a good left side of the offensive line. If I move him, I don't know if I have a good left or right side of the offensive line.
Left or right side of the offensive line.
Yeah, because you're putting an unknown at left guard, and you will have an unknown at right tackle. I think you'd be better off putting Lozo at right guard. You figure out your right tackle, then you let Lozo and the new right tackle work together on building a connection that you already have on the left side with Tangenstall and Cotton.
Okay. Well, with the idea of not moving your players who are already good, at what point do you just put Lozo at center?
I don't think Lozo's ever snapped.
He said he's
Like,
going to take snaps at center.
I know, but like last year, I didn't see him taking snaps. I don't know what that looks like. Maybe he's the best option. So then you get to keep both your guards the same. Okay, great. Like, you let him try to win that job if he can, because it allows less breakup in that continuity. I think Tayo wants to play center from things I've heard. I think he likes the idea of adding that to his resume going into, a professional career where I've played guard, I've played center. I can be like a swing lineman, be a versatile guy. I mean, if Lozo can win the job, awesome. I think the most likely thing to happen is that you keep the left side the same. Tayo wins center. You put Lozowicki at right guard, and then you have to figure out where your right tackle belongs or who wins the job.
Mm-hmm.
Steven says Keegan's in a dark place, no lights, there's scratching noises, and he's saying no while muted to snacks and food. Are we sure he's not being held captive?
Chad's basement.
My basement's not finished, so it wouldn't look that nice if he was in my basement. But that could be a green screen to throw everybody off. Just saying.
If you hear double barking, that's when you know.
Hopefully Callie's upstairs now, so the barking hopefully is fixed. Yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff coming up for spring. Like, we're gonna have a lot to watch. That's, for me, a lot more fun than those years when we go in and it's like, well, there's 18 positions already locked up. And we're going to try to have as much fun as we can talking about the three that aren't.
Yeah.
Got an entirely new defense, new positions, new assignments, new roles, new body types, and ways that these guys are going to be used and that guy's going to be used. Like, I think there's a lot of fun in going into it from our perspective. From a fan's perspective, I'm sure it probably makes you pretty damn nervous. We don't know what's going to look like at running back. We don't know what it's going to look like at wide receiver. There's still, some uncertainty on what the right side, the middle to right side of the line looks like. And defense, I don't know. That, I can get it as a fan if you're like, boy, this is a really important season for Scott Satterfield, and we're going into the spring with like 7 of the 22 positions
Decided.
Not decided, but at least like, okay, we've got a leader in the clubhouse.
Yeah.
At maybe 7 of the 22 positions, and that might be high.
No, I think there's more than that.
2 on the offensive line that we think we have a good idea on.
3.
Well, 3 starters. 3
Yeah.
starters. I'll give you that. Cotton's going to start. Tayo's going to start. Tangenstall's going to start. So those 2. Or those three. Tight end, I think Grover.
Quarterback.
Quarterback, I think we're pretty good at. So that's 5 on offense. Defense?
I'm some of those wide receivers. They're not starting. If we're not naming some of those guys as starters, then who honestly are we saying is going to start at wide receiver if it's not at least one or two of the guys we just mentioned as the likely starters?
Okay, well, JV Gibson is going to be a starter.
I think Isaiah Johnson will too.
I mean, what if Keegan's guy ends up being the starter in the slot? He did average 30 yards a play.
It's true.
Hey, I was asking the Cade Woodford questions yesterday.
I'm gonna be on C-SPAN at some point in front of a committee hearing.
So okay, we get 6 on offense. I don't know of any on defense. I don't know of one single spot. I'm like,
I'm not saying a spot specifically, but like we say Jonathan Thompson's not starting.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think
so. I think so. I don't know what Bauer looks like.
Maserowski.
Yeah.
Damon Payne.
Ooh, what? Huh?
Damon Jones.
Wilson.
I can't remember.
Wilson.
Damon Wilson.
He's coming back from injury too, isn't he?
I think so. Yeah.
He missed the whole season, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're at probably around 10, maybe, but
Sims. I mean, I would. They like Sims a lot.
The defensive backs. I mean,
yeah,
who knows there? I'm saying more of like Parker at one of the end spots.
Thomas Johnson.
Yeah.
Thomas Johnson, probably Huff. I mean, they're probablys because we just haven't seen them in these positions yet. But it's like you brought Huff in. He's 6'4", 330. I mean, if he ain't starting, we are in deep shit. Up the middle of the defense.
Yeah. We think we have a couple ideas defensively, but I don't know for sure on really anything on other than I guess Parker, the end spot. I'll give to Marquez Parker.
Yeah,
I don't know,
kind of because like
who else
is playing it,
right? I don't know who's going to be the nose. Huff,
sure,
yeah, but I don't. But and who's going to be the defensive tackle? We'll see.
Yeah, Cam Rutherford, maybe. I don't know.
I think they expect. I mean, Keegan, you can. I think they expect CD McPhee to take a step this year. Who was the other redshirt freshman that I'm thinking of? Cam Neal.
Oh yeah, they seem to like him. Yeah.
So I think they expect those two guys to take a step, but like we haven't seen them take a snap here.
That's redshirt freshmen in the Big 12. Who the hell knows?
Yeah, like they might end up being the two next great UC defensive linemen. I don't know. I haven't seen them take a snap in a real game, but I know inside those walls, they think a lot of those two guys. But, you got anything else on football, gentlemen?
I do not.
I do appreciate Zach Stipe for giving us that press conference so that we had a football topic tonight. And then I think maybe next week we're going to maybe get to talk to some of the new transfers.
All right.
Sweet.
It's a possibility. So we're getting close to spring. We're 3-4 weeks away from the start of spring ball. So that was a big help, Zach. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That is going to wrap us up there. That brings us to our first timestamp of the night, which is brought to you by Turtles Brew. Hopefully, guys, here in the next couple of weeks, I'm going to have an exciting new announcement about Turtles Brew, where you're going to be able to increase your options for locations to buy the finest bourbon-infused sweet tea in the land. But for now, 6% ABV, 0 sugar, 0 carbs, gluten-free. It's a bourbon-infused sweet tea. They have lemonade tea, strawberry mint, cherry lime, raspberry peach, orange vanilla. For the moment, there's 50 locations in Greater Cincinnati. There's about to be more near you, wherever you might be. All you got to do, go to turtlesbrew.com for information and the locations nearest you. A portion of the proceeds will go to save the sea turtles. All right, let's have a little fun, gentlemen. Brought to you by our good friends at Cincy Light. The new 125 seasons can that is going to be on sale Sunday. Collector's edition. My understanding is there will be an opportunity to get these outside of the arena. Obviously, you'll be able to get them if you go to the tap room at Ryan Guys. But I think there's going to be a couple other places that you can go and get this can. Sharp Collector's Edition. Probably gonna put that right there. Add it to the collection of Cincy Light in the Cincy Light Studios, because they have as much Cincy Light as possible in the Cincy Light Studios. But 125 years. I didn't want to do the best team, right? The best team, it's going to be one of the championship teams, or it's going to be the Final Four team. There's 5 Final Four teams and 2 championship teams. Like, one of those is going to win best team every time we do it. I don't think it creates much of a conversation. So I thought, let's change it up a little bit. Let's mix it up. Let's do favorite UC team. Now, probably going to be limited because of our age to the Bob Huggins era to present. For Keegan, probably more the Mick Cronin era to present, because Dave and I have him by a couple decades. Decade and a half for Dave.
I don't know. I was a big fan of the 1920 team.
Tell us more.
Smokey Johnson was great around the rim.
No, the 2019-2020 team.
Oh, yeah.
Fan of the first year of John Brannon.
So let's get to it, fellas. I'll start with Keegan. Keegan, your favorite UC basketball team in your lifetime.
So I thought what I wanted to do with this, I'm pulling up my notes on my screen. I'm gonna go with the 2016-2017 team.
Okay. I like that because I don't have that on mine.
Here's my reasoning. When I think about Cincinnati basketball, I think of it in eras in terms of players. So I feel like there was a Troy Copain era. Mm-hmm. There was also like a Jacob Evans and Gary Clark era. And then there was a Jaron Cumberland era. This team has all 4 of those guys on it at the same time, because I'm pretty sure it was Cumberland's true freshman season. And I always just think about that Xavier game when he hit that stupid like 34-footer right in front of Mick and he was shaking his head. And then Troy gets a little teardrop to go in from 3 to like seal it. And then Gary Clark and Jacob Evans are just 2 of the most fun players to watch because of how much they produce. And I always, whenever I was watching those teams, I reacted to losses like when a football team loses, because I was always so shocked to see that team lose games. So I think I might have broken like multiple phones watching that.
So you're thinking 2016-17.
2016-2017.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure people didn't confuse it with 2015-16. 16-17 was the Jaron freshman year, 30-6, 16-2, second in the American Conference.
So like I made my list of like my favorite players off the top of my head, and I think I got 12. in no particular order, Sean Kilpatrick, Gary Clark, Jacob Evans, Troy Copain, Justin Jackson, Jaron Cumberland, Kashmir Wright, Day Thomas, Kyle Washington, Kane Broom, Niger Brooks, Trey Scott. And this team has 1, 2, 3,
Most of
4,
them.
5, 6, 7. Now they're all playing in different roles. Like Niger Brooks barely played on that team. Nice year. Sorry.
Yeah.
He was better later on, but I feel like in terms of spanning eras and also just winning a ton, that team did a lot for me.
I think most people would look at the next year.
Yeah.
Dave, go ahead.
That is so I have two teams.
I do too.
One is 2017, 2018, and it is second on, the Final Four team, 1992, obviously way up there for me, but I was in second grade. So, like, my frame of reference to the individual games and the players is through highlights and video packages and stuff. Like, I lived it and went to the Great Midwest Tournament, even went to the Final Four, but I don't remember it. The year after that, I enjoyed a lot too. That was the year they played in the Great Eight, that old tournament again. Or no, that was a little bit later. But 93 was when they went to the Elite Eight. I think the 93 team was actually better than the 92 team.
I did too.
And lost to North Carolina in the Great Eight. Or in the Elite Eight.
Elite Eight, yeah.
Elite Eight. So I have 2017, 2018. Love the team. Had some great wins. The at Wichita State win at the end of the year. I loved how they did senior night after the game, which I always thought was hilarious because when you lose, like the way that they lost, who the hell wants to sit there and honor balding Connor Frankamp after Kyle Washington patted him on the head like a little boy? And the Houston AAC championship game that year was awesome. But it gets minus points because that was the BBT Arena season. If it was at home, if that was the NKU season, if that was at home, that might have been number one because you did have some awesome games at NKU. You had the loss to Wichita, and you had the Houston game that were both really, really good games. But my number one is 2011, 2012 because you're in the Big East, like you were firmly in the Big East. You were a player in the Big East. You had an insane Big East tournament. You had the Georgetown, however many overtime game. You had beating Syracuse, and then you had pretty much kicking Texas's ass, and then beating Florida State to go to the Sweet 16 for the first time in forever. And
one of the all-time great UC tournament games, that Florida State game.
Yeah. So that to me is my number one team that I liked the most. It was fun. You felt like, I think that was maybe the first time you really felt like, okay, like we're in the Big East and we can win. Like we're a real team in the Big East. We're not just a throw in because other teams left, and we finally have developed a roster and we can compete with Louisville and Syracuse and whoever, UConn, whoever was really, really good at that time. So that's probably 2011, 2012 is my favorite team that I have a really, really good frame of reference to the wins and the players.
For me, just a personal favorite is probably number 2, and that's the 04-05 team. One of my, like, and you know, I had became a UC fan probably 90, like as they moved into the Shoemaker Center. I've told this before, but one of my dad's friends had really good seats, and he would give them to me and my dad, you know, occasionally. And we started going to games when the Shoemaker Center was new. And really that's like when my affinity for UC started. And then the 92 team, Dave would attest to this, was a surprise. Like it wasn't, nobody at the beginning of that season was like, oh my God,
no,
we got a squad.
It wasn't building off of something like the 93 team was.
That's why the 93 team is next on the list. But I loved, more than anything, watching Jason Maxiel and Eric Hicks play together. Mm-hmm. And while it wasn't the best UC team of my life, it might not even be in the top 5 of UC teams in my lifetime in terms of how good were they. They finished 23rd in the final AP poll, 25-8. They were 12-4 in Conference USA, but you had Max at 15 points and 7.7 rebounds a game. You had Hicks at 13.7 points and 9 rebounds a game. And those two dudes, and, you know, the backcourt could drive you crazy at times. Jihad Muhammad, Armin Kirkland. It was James White's first season, I think. Was it his first or his second? I don't think he played 03-04. I think that was his sit-out year, wasn't it? Yeah, that was his sit-out year.
I do need to. You gave Zach, and he might not have any control over this, but the UC website schedule thing is all screwed up. You can't go back any further than a few, like a handful of years to go. They don't have, for some reason, it's at least on my screen. I couldn't go back as far as I wanted to go because I wanted to look at like the schedule and see like what games jumped out to me and whatever. So, I'm not sure about that exact part.
That was the first year White played here. He sat out 03-04. 04-05 was the first year he was on the floor. You had 5 double-digit scorers: Maxiel Hicks, Jihad Muhammad, Armin Kirkland, James White. Nick Williams was at 8.9 points a game. Shot 38% from 3. James White was at 38% from 3. Kirkland at 36%. Jihad, although it felt way worse, was at 34.8%. His shot selection was a little wild from time to time, but just the intensity of that team. I remember getting my dad senior night tickets for Max's senior night. Just loved that team. And then for me, I think my favorite UC team of my lifetime was the 92-93 team, Dave.
Yeah.
I mean, to back up, because a lot of people just felt like 92 was a fluke, right? The bracket broke exactly right.
No, you got to beat Memphis 3 times.
Yeah. 4 times.
4 times, but like 3 times in like a couple week.
Yeah.
Man.
You had Van Exel, you had Eric Martin, Corey Blunt. Like those were the 3, the 3 main guys. Bostic, Alan Jackson, T-Rat, always been one of my favorite UC guys, just for what he could do as a defensive stopper off the bench. Van Exel, 18 points a game, 4.5 assists. Martin with 13.5 points a game, 6.7 rebounds. Blunt, 11.3 and 8.1. That team, if they manage to win that game against Carolina in the Elite Eight, I think they win the national championship. Like, that's how good that team was. They had the experience of the Final Four from the year before. Unfortunately, they just ran into a great North Carolina team. I mean, give me a guess real quick, Crypt Keeper. What do you think Terry Nelson's averages were that year? Points and rebounds. Dave, you got a guess?
Terry Nelson in what year? 92, 93?
92, 93, yeah.
5 and 8.
Keegan, you got a guess?
3 and 2.
Dave, what's your final answer?
I said 5 and 8.
3.4 points, 4.0 rebounds. 24 minutes a game.
There you go.
His job was defense. I'm busting Terry's chops a little bit. But I was listing the high performers on that team. Now, one of the things you could say about Bob's teams, everybody had a role, everybody bought into their role, and everybody played their role at an exceptionally high level. And Terry's role was to come in, be physical, defend, make life hell for some people. And that team, you had Terry Nelson and Terrence Gibson that just made teams miserable
Mm-hmm.
being defended by those two guys. So they were excellent at role allocation, at an understanding of what was being asked of you, and they had proof of concept, right? They got all the way to the Final Four the year before, and then they said, hey, like, okay, now we know we're one of the best teams in the country. And I was 15, 16 years old then. Like, you really start falling in love with the teams that are going to be your teams for the rest of your life. And Cincinnati, that 92-93 team was phenomenal for me.
I have a couple honorable mentions.
Well, I got my.
You're not on the show. You have a show on Monday night. I don't get to talk about the stuff you guys talk about on Monday night.
I had to sit through this one.
You're such an asshole, Dave. That was the.
Go ahead, Aaron.
I was just gonna. I'm sure it was one of your honorable mentions. Why I wanted to get it in.
I don't know. Go ahead.
My favorite was the 99-2000 team.
No, it's not.
Mine was the 99-2000 team.
That's low hanging.
That was when I fell. That's when I fell in love. I mean, you were 15, 16. I was 15, 16, right around that same time as well. But that one was, DeMar his freshman year, Kenyon Martin his senior year, Jermaine Tate his senior year, Kenny Satterfield his freshman year, Leonard Stokes his freshman year, David Dissinger as a junior.
Who?
He's listed on the roster. I don't know. Ryan Fletcher as a senior.
No disrespect, Dave.
Pete Michael is senior.
Probably watching.
BJ Grove, a freshman, Steve London, a junior, and Donald Little, a freshman. So.
You mentioned the most underrated Bearcat of all time.
Pete Michael?
Pete Michael.
Oh, one of my favorite. I will always Rock Island, South Carolina. Or Rock Island, Illinois. I will never forget where he's from. Yeah.
I mean, literally could do everything. Keegan, you would have loved Pete Michael.
I got some great.
Shoot,
I mean, I sat
score,
in a
rebound.
I sat in a. Is it Milwaukee? Where were we at? Maybe for the conference tournament in Milwaukee, maybe St. Louis. I don't remember exactly. With Pete Michael in the bar, right? And he was telling me how Michael Redden from Ohio State did coke. While Hugs and Spoonhour are just drinking at the hotel bar, telling stories to everybody.
That's outstanding.
As you were.
Yeah, I got 01-02. I remember I was a sophomore at UT. They lose the opening game at Oklahoma State and then win 20 in a row. Season ended real shitty with a loss to UCLA, who was very much overseeded or underseeded based on the talent that they had. But you had
they were like number one to start the season, weren't they?
Yeah. They had Dan Gadzuric and Casey Jacobson, Capono. Casey Jacobson went to Stanford. That was when I almost got thrown out of the Sweet 16 in Anaheim for yelling at a Stanford fan, and when I was like a freshman or sophomore in college. But then because you kicked the crap out of Mississippi State and Purdue in some tournament in Vegas. You hammered Xavier that year. You had a road win at Wake Forest, who was really good. That season was beat Marquette by 1 at home. And maybe the best senior day ever was that year Memphis. Donald Little at the buzzer beat them in overtime. And then my other one would be 96. Fortson was just an unstoppable human being. Go to the Elite Eight, lose to Mississippi State.
Could barely jump over a piece of paper.
Yeah. But that was Damon Flint.
Didn't have to, Keegan.
Fortson.
Couldn't stop him.
Yeah.
That was the Sports Illustrated, right?
Mm-hmm. With like the map of Cincinnati, because the Final Four was in Indy, and they like put some map on his chest of like from Cincinnati to Indy. Like the old Sports Illustrated college basketball tournament preview edition was always an awesome thing to have. But yeah, there's been some fun teams.
Can I say my second one?
No.
I'm saying it. So Chad will probably agree with this one. 13-14. just it felt like the climax of SK and Justin Jackson playing at their best. I mean, SK was one of the best players in the entire country, averaged 20 points a game, a 7-game win streak to start the year. And then what did they win in a row? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 in a row. And then it all comes to the 2 Louisville games. You win at Louisville and then lose at home. Stupid Russ Smith. And then the freaking senior night, I remember watching the introductions in my bed on my phone, tears rolling down my face, watching SK and
I might have teared up a little
yeah,
that night.
you
I'm
did.
not gonna
Are
lie.
you kidding me?
I might have.
I used like senior night basketball back in the I was Waterworks
It was the
City,
best.
man.
Yeah, it was the best.
Because like, but now we don't need to turn
Not
this
the
into
same.
why the transfer portal sucks ass.
That was part of why, like, I knew I got to watch SK for 4 years, and I looked forward to all 4 years, and that was awesome. And then you get to that senior night, and the ceremonies are so sad, and then you look at the score, and they drop 97 on Memphis on a random weeknight to end the year. And then I don't even know.
Titus Rubles lost his damn mind in that game.
What happened against Harvard? Because I just remember them losing, and my brother took a very long walk outside so he didn't like punch something.
Well,
They just play like shit.
guess what happened, Keegan?
They didn't score.
They didn't make any shots. It's kind of the MO of the Mick tournament era.
Yeah, well, Justin's shoulder was fucked up going into the tournament. So, like, they were such a two-man team offensively.
Oh, yeah.
They were challenged offensively to begin with. And it literally was SK scores, Justin scores, or there's a 6-minute scoring drought. Like, going back over that team, Titus averaged 7.3 a game. Shaq Thomas, 6.8 a game. Jermaine Sanders, 5.7 a game. Freshman Troy Copain, 5.4 a game. Gelon, 4.5. Kevin Johnson, 3.7. Like, Jermaine Lawrence, 2.8. There just was not a lot of offensive pop on that team outside of Sean Kilpatrick.
No.
What time was that game? Was it like noon?
Yep.
Yeah,
Noon
so I
on
was at
Thur-
school.
noon
I
on-
couldn't even
noon on
watch.
Thursday.
I just came home and it was like, hey, by the way, UC lost and your favorite players are done and you're never gonna watch them play again. Cool.
And now it's all up to Troy Copain and Kevin Johnson to carry the program.
Hey,
Yep.
Troy Copain double pump at the buzzer against Purdue. Are you kidding me? That was freaking
One of the
awesome.
all-time great shots of the modern era. Yeah.
Yeah, it was about time they won a game at the buzzer in the tournament. Or they didn't even win the game. That was just to go to overtime.
No, that was the overtime. Well, they had that game lost. Like, they were dead in the water.
Oh yeah, I don't know what Purdue had that John Octius guard, and I was like, "What are you guys doing at the end of this game
Yeah.
to give this thing away?"
What, they were down 7 with like a minute and a half left, something like that?
Yeah, you had the West Virginia tournament game where they banked in the 3 that we tipped.
The St. Joe's Octavius Ellis dunk at the buzzer to win.
I remember that.
Yeah.
So, we're running out of time. So just wanted to remind everybody. Sunday, Bearcats take on Utah. Get yourself a bunch of these. That's a cool looking can. And there's a lot of cool stuff coming up this summer as well. We'll get to that when we get to that. Do we want, I don't want to talk about this Kansas State game. I don't care.
I've never been less interested in a basketball game in my life. Because I'm excluding like a November game where UC is really, really good and they're playing Alabama Tech or something, like conference game second week of February. Could not care less. Both teams stink. Like, both teams' coaches probably on their way out after the year.
At very different price points.
So
I just don't.
I mean, I hope they win because sure, why not? I'm not going to cheer for a loss, but there's a 0.0% chance I'm awake to see how this thing ends.
I'll be up.
Well, yeah, you have to do a show after.
Yep. If you're a UC fan, Aaron and I will be there for you.
If you're a sicko.
Yeah, you got to be a sicko if you're doing this. And there will be 100 people in the room.
Sickos. That's what you should call it. If you ever change it to the sicko hour.
The sickos is already kind of claimed, right? Like
Sickos Committee on Twitter.
Yeah. That's already. I don't want to steal their thunder. I like to keep it at least somewhat.
And we had Nightcap way before Chad Johnson.
Yeah, we've been doing the Nightcap. Like WLW has a show called the Nightcap too. We started doing the Nightcap, and everybody. I mean, it's such an easy name for a show. Like it doesn't take a rocket scientist to come up with the Nightcap, but we did have it before a lot of others started using it. But anyhow, get into some coaching stuff real quick if you want.
Sure.
I have been working the phones. We are a month out. None of this is like, this is what's going to happen. It's where things stand the second week of February. Because there's going to be some, look, guess what? There's going to be somebody that gets hot in the tournament and makes it to the Sweet 16. And that guy's name, whoever it is going to go from nobody's really talking about this guy to everybody's talking about this guy. So, there's a long way to go. There's a lot of chatter, though. Most of it, I think the consensus is pretty simple. There's two guys at the top of this coaching search in terms of guys ready to take the jump from the mid-major level up to the high major level. Josh Schertz, St. Louis, Jared Calhoun, Utah State. How they finish is going to be a big part of this story, because if one of them tails off or both of them tail off, then all of a sudden you lose that momentum that you had for 3-4 months, and people are going to start talking about other guys. Like that's we've been doing this a long time. Been watching a lot of basketball. I have seen many, many years where the names everybody's talking about at the beginning of February are not the names people are talking about by the middle of March. But for now, those are the two names that everybody's talking about. Schertz, yes, Joe, John Cunningham will let Wes know he's being let go if they let him go. Stop it. Stop it.
Who else would?
The intel I've gotten on Schertz this is from multiple people. People around that program, this is probably not coming from Schertz directly, but people around that program think Providence is probably the job to keep an eye on for him. I've gotten a million why Providence or Cincinnati's a better job than Providence. Remember, you're a UC fan if you're in that position to ask that question. So, of course, you think you've got the best job. Or when you look at comparable situations, that your job is better than that job. Providence, the one big thing they have going for them is they don't have football. And I don't think people are thinking about this in the new era. There are going to be a lot of coaches coming up that look at this situation and say, I don't want to have to fight with football for every penny, every dollar, every day. Because that's what's happening in the revenue share, NIL, marketplace that we've got now. Every day, you're fighting with football to get your fair cut of the pie, whatever that might be. And I just think there's some guys that are going to look at this and say, as long as I can go to a place like Providence that's going to put me in terms of revenue share on the same level as a Cincinnati or a Syracuse or, whatever. And I don't have to fight with football, and I'm the only show in town for NIL dollars to pay over whatever rev share is. That's going to be appealing to a lot of people. And from the sound of it, it's appealing to Josh Schertz because, remember, he's at a school right now that doesn't have football, and he doesn't have to worry about it. He doesn't have to deal with it. Just something to keep in mind. That's not saying he's taking Providence, but that's saying a lot of the people around him at this point, a month out, are talking Providence because I think he likes the setup.
Yeah, I mean, how many schools do we think that both coaches aren't like at a school that cares about both? How many coaches in both sports are saying I'm not getting enough?
All of them.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So
yeah,
no one is like, oh yeah, I got enough. You can pass a couple shekels over to the basketball team or vice versa. Like, no, we're fine. Yeah, that's not happening. Neither coach thinks they're getting as much as they want or deserve.
Yeah. Keegan, any thoughts?
I'm interested in, is it smart to leave for a job this cycle, knowing that Syracuse and Cincinnati are probably going to be the best jobs available? I mean, we talked about it, Kansas could open if Self retires. Mark Pope probably going to get fired. North Carolina, he's on the hot seat.
Mark Pope is a half a game
next year. After next year.
He's
no chance.
No.
After next year?
No.
If he sucks again next year after
3
3 years.
Suck now. They're a half a game out of first place in the SEC.
I guess I'm too deep into UK Twitter and everyone's freaking out. That's on
Those
me.
people are nuts. They're ready to fire Pat Kelsey at Louisville.
They're Kentucky's had an insane month. I mean, what are they like?
Okay, but point still stands. There could be some huge jobs opening in the next 2 cycles.
If you're at a St. Louis or a Utah State, you might go 17-12 next year.
You're doubling down, especially a Utah State. The Mountain West is not, and they're going. Is next year the first year for the Pac-12?
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen that league, Keegan?
The Pac-12?
The new Pac-12 basketball league.
No.
Gonzaga, San Diego State, Utah State. It's going to be a very good West Coast basketball league. So there's no guarantee that you're going to be, 23-2 or what,
No, I do not think coaches at that level have the luxury of waiting. Now,
I had somebody ask today.
If you're a hot assistant coach, if you're a hot assistant coach or in football is totally different. Alex Golish last year had the luxury of waiting to this year to get the Auburn job. My guy, John Sumrall, great year at Troy or at Tulane last year, had the luxury. North Carolina wanted him. He had the luxury to wait a little bit and then got the Florida job. I don't think the mid-major coach in basketball, because of just the nature of the sport, I don't think you have the luxury to be like, oh, I'm going to wait to see what opens next year. Because your best players, it's one thing if your best players at Tulane transfer. It's a whole nother story. If all your best players from Utah State leave to go to UCLA or Arizona or something like that, you're not getting the UC job next year if you're replacing very much likely not having as good of a year if you're replacing your top 3 or 4 basketball players versus your top handful of football players.
I had somebody ask today, do you think Jared Calhoun passed on the West Virginia job knowing the Cincinnati job would come open this year?
No.
What if Wes had a good year? this year, and Cincinnati made the tournament. And
like,
now you passed
literally
on West Virginia.
Not everyone expected, because I didn't. But I mean, I think a lot of people were expecting it. So yeah, I mean, you're relying on the other side of it too. Not just that I'll have another good year, but that this other job will open up. That there's no guarantee. So
no, I think you have to strike while the iron's hot. I mean, yeah, it's unfortunate a little bit that it's not going to be a cycle with a bunch of great jobs, but it's going to be your cycle. So
yeah, you can't control or worry about that element of it.
The thing with Calhoun is all indications are he's very interested in Cincinnati. Like the walls are talking that he's, kind of got his eye up looking over at what's happening in Clifton. Now, there could also be other jobs that, like, I know Pitt is a possibility to come open, although I'm getting conflicting reports on that. Like the guy that runs the 24/7 site says Cable's coming back, mainly because he got his assistants multi-year guaranteed contracts with buyouts that it would cost Pitt almost $20 million to fire Capel and his staff.
Why are these ADs agreeing to this shit?
He's been there a decade. He's been to one NCAA tournament.
If I'm the AD and I'm going, you're holding me over a barrel for your assistant coaches and you haven't done shit.
Yeah.
Go. Who else is hiring you? I'm not doing that. Then quit. I'll hire somebody else.
I also talked to a source today that's close to Pitt and said they have the money if they decide to pull the trigger. $20 million.
Great.
To make them go away. And that doesn't include hiring the next coach and then paying for the next set of players, the next team. I mean, you're talking $37 million, $40 million.
Better than what, 6th, 7th, 8th, something like that in the ACC, and you're just going to spend $40 million to hire a new coach and stuff.
I feel like I should point out that it's 9 p.m.
I know the thing's going on. I've got CBS Sports on, so the game has not started yet.
Is there a world where please don't bite my head off for asking this? I'm trying to get a lay of the land. Is there a world where if Iowa State opens, it's on par with Cincinnati? Because their financial situation is horrible.
It's a mess. It's a mess.
Why would Iowa State open?
I think TJ could take a different job.
Oh. Well, what job would open that he would take?
I don't think there's one that's going to be open. I don't think one will open this year that he jumps at. Or at least
NBA?
No, I think he's a college coach.
I mean, that's why I'm just trying to put two and two together.
I've had somebody tell me he wants the Ohio State job, but they have come out in support of Diebler coming back. Now, he got the dreaded vote of confidence today from the AD. So sometimes that's the worst of signs.
Yeah. It takes one loss for that vote of confidence to completely disappear.
Yeah.
It is buyout of pennies.
But to Keegan's point, Dave, I think TJ knows that situation is cooked. At Iowa State.
I probably got it as good as I can get it.
Yeah. They had to dig very deep to afford that roster this year.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess, Chad and I have talked about this, and I don't know. I'm very much just a listener when it comes to college basketball coaches. You guys know, you listen to anything that I've said or follow my personal Twitter account. I'm much more in the loop on football coaches. The things that I've said about, and I don't even know if I've said them on this show because I think we do a good job of not talking about this until it's kind of honestly time to talk about it.
Yeah.
It's just my concern level in and Calhoun's a little bit different. He did coach at WVU for a while, but the landscape of the sport is just totally different than it even was then. But my concern is the repeat of the low major coach who becomes the mid-major coach who has the run up into the tournament or not even tournament, just has some successful seasons in a row at your mid-major job, who then all of a sudden gets vaulted into the best conference in the country. And we're supposed to expect this guy to break into the top 5 or 6 of the league when there are already, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the best 25 coaches in the country. So I am hoping if a change has been made or is made, that they cast a very wide net. And I kind of hope that, my 2 kind of criterias are, you might be a head coach at a lower level, but you have sat on the bench at a major college basketball player, or you are an assistant and have been for a while at a major college basketball player. So I'm thinking, Chad and I talked about this already today, actually, when I was driving home, but is there anyone at Duke? Is there anyone at UConn? Is there anyone at Arizona? Anyone at, I mentioned to Chad when UC played Houston, would Kellen be an option? And he's probably not, because he's just going to wait for his dad to retire. But somebody like that, you obviously run the risk of no head coaching experience. But I'm interested in someone that is sat in the seats or been in the seat where it is as important as it is at UC. I'm not interested in another UNC. Now, granted, West did not come into the Big 12. He was coming into the AAC. He did not know that this was going to happen when he got hired. So that is not fair to paint him with that same brush, I don't think. But I'm just hoping that regardless of what we think we hear now and with a month to go, I would really love some, and we might never find out, but I would love to hear that they really dug deep. They really looked up and down for, who is that person that could potentially become one of those top 5 or 6 coaches in the conference.
You have to hire a guy you believe fully in your soul is going to be a top 25, 30 coach in the country. Because we've seen what a top 40, 50 coach in the country looks like in West. It's not good enough. You spend too much time in that same group battling out these middle of the pack games, and everyone you lose is a nightmare.
Yeah, so I don't know the names I don't know the names like I do for football, but is there someone in those
Luke Murray,
blue blood type, blue blood adjacent? Texas Tech, Houston aren't blue bloods, but they're clearly 2 of the best programs. Chad, you mentioned the dude at USF right now who's doing really well, who came into a horrible situation 2 years ago, has experience at the high major level on a bench. So that's just kind of where I sit on the process as a whole, kind of a month or so out from what could potentially happen.
Dave, what if I can offer you a 20-year head coaching veteran with 3 tournament appearances and
3 tournament appearances in 20 years?
A long stint in the Big Ten.
Are you trying to sell me on some IU fired?
I've been throwing Steve Peichel to Chad. I think it'd be interesting.
Is he the Rutgers coach?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Chad has said
vehemently rejecting Steve Peichel. Look, Steve
Peichel
also
saying he's a good coach.
Yeah, he's a good coach. He is a good coach. Is he a great coach? No, I don't think so. And is he a guy that can come in and elevate UC to a consistent top 6 team in this conference? I don't think so. So I would cross him off immediately.
Yeah, if you're asking me, would I want him or Luke Murray or the guy at USF or Chris Carrawell at Duke or somebody off Izzo's staff or Bill Self's staff, I would take anyone. I would take the chance on any of those guys before I would hire an older, established coach who
Has done nothing.
Has not nothing, but you know what I mean.
Almost nothing.
Yeah.
Almost nothing. You're not allowed to put him on the hot board.
Give me a guy with a ton of recruiting ties in New Jersey and New York with way more money than he currently has.
They got the number 1 and number 2 player in the country last year.
And didn't make the tournament.
It didn't go great. I'm not saying it went great. But I mean,
so why would I want to hire that guy?
Because he's not the thing that you just said you don't want. You just said you don't want a mid-major.
I didn't say I didn't want that. Just because I didn't mention I didn't.
Path.
I didn't want. So.
All right, we'll have plenty more time to talk about this. I just thought we'd get in a little bit of. It sounds like Providence. If I had to handicap right now, Providence probably the leader for shirts. A month out, I think Calhoun is looking very seriously at Cincinnati.
Okay, I'll ask you a question to get the people talking. A little provocative here. If
you had to name, game hasn't even started yet, so we're fine.
If you had to name one guy outside of those two, who would it be?
Eric Olin from New Mexico.
New Mexico?
Okay. You asked me one guy.
Barack Obama.
What about an NBA assistant? Florida State, Utah, and BYU are all trying it. The only place that's working is BYU. So,
and that's because they have endless money.
They're spending $20.
They got a lot of dollars.
A lot of dollars.
Chad could coach BYU to the NIT.
Yeah, to the NIT, yeah. Like you give me Richie Saunders, Rob Wright, and AJ Devanza with Key Makeda as like your glue guy.
I wouldn't get up off the bench and I wouldn't uncross my arms.
Right.
Only to get something to drink. I would just sit there and I'd be like,
run the score points play.
Subs.
Keegan, who are like, do you root for Kansas State tonight? Like Jesus is on their side.
Oh my God.
Do you pull for the Wildcats or?
I don't know. Is it offset by Coach Tang's Instagram follows?
Yeah, it's not.
A big Jesus
we're all broken
Jesus
people.
Guy.
We're all broken
Joe
people.
does ask an interesting question. How much say does Corey have?
Probably not a ton. I mean,
yeah,
I think
he might offer up some names, but the interviewing and the background and all that is probably he's probably not much of a part of.
Tyler McKinley, right hook. Good for the first basket of the game.
A center and right hook. It's something different.
I don't think GMs in college sports are anywhere close to having say on coaching, not like in the pros. I think it's very much just roster, and that's where that kind of job description ends. I mean, I'm sure there's names given and things like that, but
all right, I gotta watch this game.
Oh, well, you have fun.
Oh, we do?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we gotta work. Hold on. Oh, he missed it. I was gonna say Tyler McKinley with the first 4 points of the game. He was a little short off the front with it.
Tyler McKinley with a Babu hook, and we are off. You got a typo in your tweet.
Oops. Damn it. All right. I gotta work.
Babu hook.
Baby. I gotta work.
All right.
Thanks everybody for tuning in. Nightcap or the aftermath coming up when this one is over. And we'll see you next time. That's the BCJ Podcast, brought to you by the Holy Grail, right here on BearcatJournal.com.